3 days, 8 stories, 1 snub. Mistral shipped Europe's loudest weekend product launch. N8N quietly compiled their MCP server. Meta bought a body for Zuckerberg's superintelligence pitch. The Pentagon picked 8 AI vendors, and Anthropic isn't one of them. Friday through Sunday, May 1st to 3rd. Let's begin. Mistral just shipped the weekend's biggest product launch. Saturday, Mistral Medium 3.5. A single dense 128 billion parameter model. Chat, reasoning, code, all in one set of weights. 256K context. Multimodal with a vision encoder trained from scratch for variable image sizes. And crucially, open weights on Hugging Face under a modified MIT license. 77.6 on SWE Bench verified. That beats DevStral 2 and Qwen 3.5 397B. Pricing, $1.50 per million input tokens, 750 output. Open weights pricing inside a closed weights benchmark range. And then Vibe remote agents. Coding sessions move to the cloud. Isolated sandboxes running in parallel. You spawn a session from the CLI or from Lechat, walk away, and it pings you when it's done. Local sessions can be teleported up to the cloud. Full session history, task state, approvals all carry across. Lechat also got a work mode. Parallel agents across email, calendar, documents, Jira, and Slack, all simultaneously. Every tool call visible. Explicit approval before anything sensitive ships. Open weights, frontier benchmarks, async cloud agents. That's 3 things Anthropic and OpenAI don't ship together. Mistral just did. Friday, the Pentagon picked its AI vendors for classified networks. 8 names made the list. Anthropic isn't one of them. The Department of War, yes, that's the formal name now, awarded classified network AI deals at impact level 6 and 7. The 8 vendors, SpaceX, OpenAI, Google, NVIDIA, Microsoft, AWS, Reflection, and Oracle. Distribution channel, GenAI.mil, over 1.3 million DoD users. Anthropic, the only frontier lab cut out, tagged a supply chain risk by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth back in March. That's a label previously reserved for companies tied to foreign adversaries. The dispute, Anthropic refused to grant the Pentagon use of Claude for, quote, all lawful purposes. That phrase covered fully autonomous weapons and domestic mass surveillance. But the door isn't fully closed. DoD CTO Emil Michael publicly said Anthropic stays a supply chain risk, but Mythos is, quote, a separate national security moment. That's the same Mythos from episode 12. The model that made Anthropic a security vendor might be what brings them back into the Pentagon. Trump told CNBC a deal is possible. And on March 24th, the Northern District of California already granted Anthropic a preliminary injunction. The court said the blacklist wasn't national security, it was retaliation. Quiet release that matters. N8N's MCP server made one small change, and it fixes the thing every agent built this workflow demo gets wrong. The MCP server can now build new workflows from scratch and update existing ones, end to end. It validates, runs a test execution, and self-fixes if something breaks. The architectural switch. It generates a TypeScript representation of the workflow, not raw JSON. The TypeScript has to type check and compile before being applied to your instance. Invalid workflows can't reach production. N8N's own line. The TypeScript approach produces much better results than direct JSON generation in our testing. Works with any MCP client. Claude Code, Cursor, Windsurf, ChatGPT. Cloud, self-hosted community, enterprise. Version 2.18.4 or higher. Anyone who watched ChatGPT happily generate a broken N8N JSON last year knows why this matters. N8N isn't dead, it just compiled. Same Friday, Meta bought a robotics startup. Assured Robot Intelligence, ARI. Building foundation models for humanoid robots. Household chores, manipulation, dynamic environments. Co-founders Laryl Pinto from NYU and Xiaolong Wang from UCSD both join Meta Superintelligence Labs. They sit next to Meta Robotics Studio. Translation. Zuckerberg's $145 billion in CapEx isn't all data centers. Some of it is shoulders, hips, and hands. One name on the Pentagon's vendor list nobody recognized. Reflection AI. The only newcomer. Founded March 2024 by two ex-Google DeepMind researchers, Misha Laskin and Ioannis Antonoglou. Antonoglou worked on AlphaGo and AlphaZero. $2 billion raised last year, targeting an open-weight frontier model trained on tens of trillions of tokens. They have not shipped one yet. So, on a Pentagon vendor list before their first model is public. That's an unusual order of operations.
OpenAI Codex this weekend. Amazon Bedrock support landed for OpenAI-compatible providers, AWS SIG v4 signing included. The Microsoft exclusivity ended Monday story from episode 11 now has its first real distribution proof, plus a CLI device code login for SSH and containers. Small fix, but the kind of fix that means somebody at OpenAI is reading their issue tracker. Anthropic Claude Code over the weekend. The small but pleasant kind of release. Project Purge command for cleaning all state. OAuth code paste for terminal logins where the browser can't reach localhost. Bedrock service tier env-var. The product team isn't blinking on the Pentagon thing. They're shipping the boring stuff that makes the tool sticky. Apple reported Wednesday after hours. We're skipping the headline numbers. The only line that matters? R&D up 33% year-on-year. And Cook on the call? Quote, AI is a really important investment area for Apple, and we're going to be doing that incrementally on top of what we normally invest in our product roadmap. Apple was the Mag 7 AI spending outlier last week. As of this earnings call, Cupertino has finally said the word. 3 days, 8 stories. Mistral shipped Europe's loudest weekend product launch. Open weights, async cloud agents. N8N quietly compiled their MCP server. Meta bought a body for Zuckerberg's superintelligence pitch. The Pentagon picked 8 vendors, snubbed Anthropic, and admitted Mythos is the reason the door's not fully shut. Reflection AI got a Pentagon contract before they shipped a model. And Cook finally said the word, AI investment area. See you tomorrow.